listening to Conversations with Al McFarlane, broadcasting live from the Minneapolis Urban League in North Minneapolis. We're glad to be here, glad that you are here with us in audience, and those who are listening on radio at KFAI, those who are online, kfai.org. You know, we're trying to get technical, high-tech, and you can follow this program now and Insight News at Twitter and at Facebook, I think it's called, right? So as we get more and more tuned into the technology world, you'll be able to connect. And our goal is to create a platform to use all available technologies, video conferencing, television, radio, internet, Facebook, the newspaper, and getting together 4, 5, 10, 15, 50, 100 people at a time. How do we get together to talk about our community and to talk about our vision for building neighborhoods, families, nations that work? Well, I'm pleased to have Council Member Elizabeth Glidden here with me today, and I want to spend the next few minutes talking about the important work you're doing on behalf of your constituents in South Minneapolis in the 8th Ward. What are your priorities right now?
Well, thank you very much, Al. I've been on your show before and talked about work along 38th Street and Chicago Avenue, and I would still say that that remains a top priority for constituents. I still go to community meetings, and one of the top things I hear is livability issues that are reflected along our community corridors like 38th Street and Chicago Avenue. We've been focusing a lot of our attention right at the corner of 38th and Chicago, and that work has been slow but sure, and lots of vacant properties there, lots of underutilized properties there. I think people all over the city can commiserate with what that's like to see and what that does to the surrounding neighborhoods. And we have a couple of projects on tap, and I'm really encouraged that this is going to bring more development interest to the area. We have something that's called the Chicago Avenue Fire Arts Center that is moving into a property at 38th and Chicago. There's another property across the street that has been purchased that long had a dollar store, and the new developer has a desire to open up that front. So it's going to be a retail storefront and bring in some kind of a retail use and work with the community on what's going to be most helpful.
How hard is it to develop inner city communities, 38th and Chicago, 38th and Nicollet, Plymouth and Penn right here where we are, Franklin Avenue? Some neighborhoods seem to be doing quite well, doing things that are innovative, but some neighborhoods seem to suffer and lag and suffer neglect or inattention over a long period of time. So how difficult is it to actually bring projects to fruition in a community?
It can be very tough, and I think that 38th and Chicago has been particularly tough. I think there are some other areas in the city that have even been tougher. But, you know, when I came into office in 2006 and I was talking to people in the city and I was kind of beating this drum, and I still am, about the importance of that corner to the whole area, people, you know, would say to me, that's tough. 38th and Chicago and 38th Street all along, it's had some long time vacant properties. And what is kind of interesting right now is that I'm starting to see more movement on commercial properties in the 8th Ward and at that corner now in this economic downturn than we have seen before. And I think one of the big challenges is to make sure that we are working with responsible property owners and connecting them with the community to make sure that these are going to be good projects.
Is there a challenge to making sure that Black people are included in the development strategy for the community? Too often, I feel that we get left out or marginalized or discouraged or derailed, and therefore our community loses both equity and opportunity.
I would say that is definitely true and definitely a challenge. I think what we have tried to do is some intentional outreach to particular projects, and there had been a couple that I had hoped might come to the corner, which now it looks like they are not. Working with Southside Community Health, working with African American Family Services, but still trying to figure out how can we do some very intentional outreach. We have some great long-time businesses on the corridor, and I think it's really critical for me to keep working with them. The Spokesman Recorder is one of those, but there are many others, including the Southside Urban League office.
Great. Elizabeth Glidden, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your service. 8th Ward, City of Minneapolis City Council, keep up the good work. And Roosevelt Gaines, thank you for your leadership and your service here at the Minneapolis Urban League. I'm Al McFarlane. Join me here this time next week for Conversations with Al McFarlane. We'll see you.
Princess kept the view while other women came and went. Barefoot servants too.